rundown. In New York City, chants of globalize the Intifada. We don't want no Zionists here. And death to the IDF. Those are the chants that echoed outside of a major synagogue Wednesday night. Protesters outside Park East Synagogue were disrupting a Nefesh B'Nefesh event, the organization that helped Jews immigrate to Israel. Now, a smaller crowd of Jewish counter-protesters gathered opposite the anti-Israel group, separated by police and barricades, but that did not stop the verbal assaults. Certainly another concerning incident that we are seeing in New York City. To discuss more, we're joined now by Marc Schulman, columnist at Newsweek and author of the Tel Aviv Diary. Marc, I want to begin by almost pointing out the irony here. So many Jews right now don't feel safe in New York City. They want to immigrate to Israel through Nefesh B'Nefesh. Yet that is the same event that was attacked. Is there no more so-called safe space anymore?
It doesn't seem so. I mean, that's the reality. Anything that has anything to touch Israel, everyone's immediately a Zionist. And of course, the problem is that most American Jews, 80%, depending on how you define it, define themselves as Zionists. So that means they're against all Jews. Look, the pro-Palestinian movement has become radicalized without a doubt. There's no question that the war theoretically is over. I don't see anyone calling for democracy in Gaza now, or civil rights in Gaza, or rights for gays in Gaza, all the things that should concern these people at this point. So that's our reality. It's the reality in New York. It's not only in New York, but New York is particularly problematic. And of course, it's particularly problematic, of course, with a new mayor who, in theory, supports a lot of these people.
In theory, and through his actions, he's used many of the same slogans that we hear at these demonstrations.
No, without a doubt, without a question. The only positive news I can say is the fact that the police commissioner, she's staying on. And she's not only Jewish, I mean, her mother went to the same school as me. I knew her from high school. So strong Jewish background and everything else. So she's the police commissioner of New York. And I think she'll at least keep the policies of the New York police as best as possible. But look, this is a problem worldwide. It's particularly bad in New York, but it's worldwide. And we're seeing a situation where the Palestinian demonstrators in New York and other places are more radical, certainly than the Palestinians here in Israel, to say the least, or the West Bank and other places. So they want our destruction. Let's be honest. They want it, and they talk about it, and they demonstrate for it. And, the fact that the war has ended doesn't seem to bother them. I mean, it bothers them. They can't go out and demonstrate against the war now. They can't demonstrate against genocide, quote unquote. So now they can find something else to demonstrate against.
It doesn't change any of the slogans that we're hearing. Marc, you mentioned the new mayor-elect, Zohran Mamdani. President Trump announced that he's going to be coming to the Oval Office tomorrow on Friday. Anything major that we should expect when these two finally go head-to-head? I mean, Trump has some big expectations for New York, considering it's his former home.
Right. It should be an interesting meeting, to say the least. I mean, forget the politics. Just look at the age difference. You have by far the youngest mayor in 100 years of New York, and you have basically the second oldest and soon to be the oldest president in American history meeting together. Their ideologies couldn't be further apart. Their economics visions couldn't be further apart. But they're both populists. So you have to say they have something in common. And that's one of the difficulties in America today is populist politicians, be they on the right or be they on the left, are getting a great deal of traction. And they're both populist. They both have ideas that are not practical, but sound popular. And so maybe they'll have something in common in that sense. I think Trump appreciates, I put in quotation marks, appreciates the political skills that Mamdani has. Whatever we think about him, he was certainly an unbelievable politician. The fact he managed to go from zero to mayor of New York, from no public presence whatsoever to this position, as a politician, you got to give him credit. I wish we had a few Mamdanis here, with different views, obviously. But he's quite a charismatic politician. He spoke in the way that people wanted. He said things and made promises that people care about. And Trump is trying to do that too. Don't forget, one of Trump's big problems right now is the fact that the prices of goods and food and everything else is too high. That was Mamdani's main point that he basically ran on: bring down prices, and whether it was bring down rents or hold rents at least at one place, the foods supermarkets that the city would open up in a bunch of places, and other actions he wants to take to bring down the cost of living in New York. Now, Trump right now has a really big problem. Even with his base, the prices in America have continued to go up. He promised to bring them down from day one. So he has something in common with Mamdani. Maybe he can get on the Mamdani train and bring down prices.
Maybe
you never
it can
know.
be an interesting meeting from what
So
happens
with Trump,
tomorrow.
everything is always interesting. Whatever else you want to say about President Trump, he's always interesting. And unfortunately, so is Mamdani.
They both
So it
make
could be a
for
very
many
interesting
news
meeting.
headlines that we continue to cover right here
Absolutely.
on i24 News. Marc Schulman,
without
thank
a
you so
doubt.
much for being with us this evening. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Well, Canada is now grappling with an alarming